Hello. I just wanted to talk about some of the areas I've grown this semester and in these block classes, some of the ways specifically that I have either reconsidered what I was thinking or gained new insight in certain areas. So first with Enjoying the Bible, Matthew Mullins, that was a very interesting look at something I never really thought about, which is that too often I read the Bible just for its literary value or just for what the message is. And I mean, there's obviously times for that. There's obviously times when the Bible is meant to be taken fully literally, in commands and stuff. But there's also times that I definitely have skipped over important passages of the Bible or definitely not gotten the full meaning of things because I was searching for a direct meaning instead of the way the text seeks to impart meaningfulness in you, even if it's not directly through meaning. So reading that and getting that new perspective was very good, especially in terms of how it will apply to me reading the Bible now and in the future. Another book that was super influential in this semester that really changed my mind on a lot of things and opened my eyes to things I hadn't thought about was Epic of Eden. With just every chapter, it was whoa, I've read the story hundreds of times, but I've never seen this, when you connect all these dots, it makes such a beautiful picture. The whole thing about God's original intent and his final intent being the same, how God always wanted humans to live in Eden and how he always wanted, to be with us. And when we lost that, you can see throughout the Old Testament and throughout the, New Testament and all that, it's you can track the path of that redemption. You can track in the temple with the pictures of the garden and stuff, how that was always God's plan to bring us back. I thought that was beautiful. And I thought there's I could talk for hours maybe about that book. It's had so many deep ideas about how God welcomes us back into his family and how, what that would have meant back in ancient Near East times. Another book and topic this block that really stuck with me was it's talked about in Everything Happens for a Reason, how God doesn't always, maybe there's not a reason. Maybe, I don't know, maybe sometimes suffering just is inherent in this life. And this has been one of the things that I've really been kind of wrestling with, struggling with, thinking about, chewing on throughout this whole semester is what I believe about God's goodness, because I know that he's good, obviously, and I've seen that in my own life, and I know he's just, and I know he's all the things he says he is because he's proved it and I've seen it. But it's just interesting to think about there's times when he doesn't heal, there's times when he doesn't move, and how can we hold that obvious fact and still hold to the fact that he's good. That's really been kind of stretching for me, and it's taken my kind of childlike naivety of faith, I guess, which, I mean, I think we should have faith like children, but I think that as I've matured more, I've begun to think about the reasons for what I believe more, and it's really grown me and given me a more mature perspective on it, which I think is very good. To conclude, another thing that was interesting was the Sunset Limited and the discussions of nihilism, and how even though Black didn't really have everything necessarily figured out, or he didn't have a full belief in the inerrancy of the scripture, he still was able to have hope because he clung to Jesus, and that was enough for him. And I think that was just a beautiful picture of what I want my life to be like, and what I want the world to see in me is just Jesus and hope. Black kind of had this contagious hope about him, and that's what I wish for my life going forward. So yeah, this semester I've grown as a student. I've persevered through hard work, probably harder work than I've ever done before, but it's been good, and I've learned so much. And I mean, I've grown as a person, I think, and I've grown as a believer, because these classes and their content has really pushed me and challenged me to question why I believe what I believe, and it's made my faith stronger. Thank you.